Good morning. I'm Daniel Miller, and this is the Video Gaming News. A warm welcome to all of our friends, fans, community members, participants, and everyone watching us on a variety of different platforms worldwide. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being our very dedicated community members. Thank you for supporting this channel, everything I do here, as well as my charitable fundraising for the Mind charity, a British-based charity that provides services for people who are suffering from mental health problems in Britain. So thank you for your support, thank you for your follows, for your likes, for your shares, for some contributions. Very important to be spreading the news about the charity and the campaign. You will know that anyone from our community, in fact any one of us, under certain circumstances can become seriously unstable mentally and emotionally, and therefore it's so essential that we support the services that are offering help, advice, and any other form of support to anyone who is in need. So, how is everybody doing today? I've not had any news yesterday, and the reason for that is very simple. I told you in the course of the last sort of week or 10 days that we are going to be going back to our Destiny streams, and I thought what better way but to reacquaint with Destiny during this week prior to the release of the final shape, but through a walkthrough. We're doing the complete replay of our campaign missions, and that's 4 different campaigns, I should say 4 separate DLCs that indeed are accessible at the moment through Bungie and Destiny free of charge. So anyone who's a newbie, who's wondering what Destiny is about, or maybe someone who has been grinding Elder Scrolls or Fallout 76 who's not been to our Destiny universe, could actually take a peek and try all of these things by himself or herself, and do it free of charge, everything for free. And it's a very, very good marketing strategy on behalf of Bungie, providing free access and offering a voluminous content for everyone to enjoy, to explore, to unite, to find new friends, to join hands with other like-minded souls around the world, everyone who loves Destiny and Bungie and our Guardians. So, I thought, well, what we'll do is 7 days, Monday to Sunday, of marathon streams, lengthy streams, that are bringing us back to the game. And also, I think, most importantly, what I wanted to see was what the state of the game is today. We've heard a lot of chatter over the months and years, and we've heard many comments on Reddit and Discord, particularly from people kind of dissatisfied and unhappy with the state of the game. And I really want to see for myself what the beginning of the game looked like today, as I've not done it since they introduced the alterations and changes. I had gone in as the game was released, and was right from the start. Tried it on all 3 characters, Warlock, Hunter and Titan. And I had the experience of all the other expansions that unfortunately have been vaulted by now. We can't really access any of that content at the moment, that is. I think lots of that content will come back in due course as the tech evolves, more space becomes available, and the new structures are being applied to Destiny. Don't forget, with the final shape, we are getting into a completely different structure of what we are given. We've had the structure of seasonal content almost from the year 2, and we've had many rewards and many gifts given, and seasonal quests and activities, as well as in recent years we had seasonal artifact. We were able to claim mods. We had weekly story missions during the last couple of years, and it's just like a really voluminous content that we all enjoyed and engaged with, shared with our friends and other Guardians worldwide, and played together with. Really, we had lots of squads, and here on my channel there have been very many countless matches of Crucible, of Nightfall, some raids, campaign missions, patrols. A lot of it was spent on seasonal content. We had extensive Destiny 1 streams with all of those endgame and tip-top prime sort of activities, and generally we enjoyed everything that was on offer. So I'd like to say that I'm really looking forward to the final shape, and I personally also wanted to acquaint myself with the story and with the changes. So it has been a journey, and it has been very exciting to be able to get back. And also, I think most importantly, for the first time, I was entering these sections of the game on my PlayStation 5, which I recently acquired. So even the game looked and sounded a lot better than 6 years ago, and you know, it's just like a massive enhancement, massive improvement on all levels. So just bear with me, I want to get some information for you as well in order to provide you with further stats. Something just keeps disappearing here on my system, which is really annoying. I do apologize, but you know, it's one of those things. You really always prepare for everything, but the text sometimes backfires, and when it does, you keep losing information and things become a bit funny. Yeah, there we are, all sorted. Right, so like I said to you before, in order to support our charitable fundraiser, in order to align ourselves with Mind and other streamers who are doing exactly the same thing, the Discord channel and various other platforms. In fact, Mind do have a department that deals just with video gaming and video streams, and I think probably is one of the most advanced kind of developments in any of the charities in Britain, because I've not come across anything of the sort in any other that I'm familiar with. And I've been getting regular messages from the team, and they observe everyday postings indicating that we are going to be live on air, and we are going to be doing another stream for their charity. So just like one stream, I have separated my broadcasting into 3 different sections. So we have gameplay, which has always been the most popular. We have podcasts, and those are theme-based or subject-based. And then we have daily news, like this one, where I talk about literally anything linked to video gaming industry, the overall news from the gaming industry, as well as anything that we do here within our community. So, you know, really a mixture of different types of thoughts, ideas, and facts, as well as some of my own reflections on what's happening out there, not just in video gaming, but elsewhere in our communities. And you know, it's been a very good experience. The new structure has been embraced by our members, and I've had a number of subscriptions, quite a few follows, and most importantly, I did have some very, very kind messages coming from people who are watching the channel on video on demand or playback. In fact, I did notice that compared to maybe 4 or 5 years ago, there are many more people watching the streams on playback, and I think that's because of the way people are today. You know, very busy, long hours, no time for entertainment during the day, and my streams are never really, very rarely at night. Gameplay streams, that is, and I tend to really do it early in the day and connect with people who are up and about, awake, and you know, able to connect. And if not, everyone can just basically hook up on social networking platforms such as Discord and Twitter in particular, and I have Facebook and Instagram, and you can ping messages by email. I always respond to every one of those that come in, as many of our UK-based friends will tell you. I have quite a few people from UK who are watching what I do here through playback, and then they can't really communicate directly, and then the ping messages, you know, and the messages have been very, very Jessica and James and Stephen, and you know, you have a few of those, John as well, very good friends who community members always provide us with some really important questions, both in terms of what happens on this channel, i.e. my own sort of thoughts and views, as well as the questions about what's happening in the industry, and Bungie and Destiny in particular. So, you know, it's been very, very active and hectic, and very pleased with those responses, and just keep them coming. That's the idea. And like I said, I had literally no time at all within the last few days due to the preparations for you know, the major kind of marathon streams of Destiny 2 here on the channel, and that's taken a bit of time. I had to rework and sort of re-explore some areas of Destiny in order to become, you know, fully familiar, as generally in recent months, over the last couple of years, I have been focused entirely on the seasonal content. And if you follow my news, if you read Bungie bulletins, you'll know that the news, I mean, the seasons will be sunsetted or vaulted, as they call it in jargon, which means they'll disappear on the 4th of June, and we are going to be getting a monthly content coming up in a form of monthly episodes with a completely different structure, with game being reworked in different ways, and you know, it's all very exciting. But 2 major changes are really Prismatic subclass, and then also there is going to be the new skills tree called Pathfinder. That is going to be replacing our seasonal content and also our artifact. And the rewards will be acquired through Pathfinder, our time spent in gameplay, and also according to the things that we are going to be doing, there are going to be certain types of rewards allocated. So, you know, exciting, but I think we have to be a bit careful with anticipation and the overall hype, as some people may be lukewarm on Pathfinder. They may find that the usual structure that everybody had been experiencing would have been, I guess, fully accepted. But at the same time, you know, the game's been around now for 10 years in 2 different installments in different forms, obviously, considering how the game operates today, and it is just purely natural and normal for Bungie to decide to take a new direction, and that may well be very good. You know, we are going to be wrapping up one section of the saga and then opening up other horizons of ideas. Okay, so I'll tell you a bit more about that later. And I hope you guys enjoyed my stream yesterday, which was very lengthy, and it had been plagued a bit by a glitch on PlayStation, which really enraged me. I couldn't really work out what was happening and why this was indeed the problem. Basically, the controller was indicating that there was no power and it was fully charged, and then I couldn't work out what to do in order to enable the controller to work. So if, for instance, that happens on PlayStation 5, everything freezes, inclusive of your stream, your audio, and you have no connection to the network. So I couldn't do anything but just simply disconnect and then reload, and everything was sorted. But later I looked up on Reddit to ask some advice and help, and I realized it's down to the rest mode and the power saving settings, which in fact are cutting out certain functions after a certain period of time. And I had to rechange the settings and restart and reboot and a few other things, and then that's been sorted. So really, it's a sort of glitch that you will have on PlayStation if you're a streamer, if you left it all to the factory settings. It needs to be adjusted. It needs to be adjusted so that your charger is being enabled for activity always, as well as to be charged at all times if you have a wire connection, which is what I do have. So, you know, it was peculiar that the controller is never disconnected from the mains. It's always connected with a USB wire, and then suddenly you hear that there's no power in it, which is ridiculous. It should be always fully powered. Anyway, just a tip for anyone who's a streamer who's doing it through the PlayStation 5. It can be a problem unless you had... I mean, actually, I've gone through all the settings. I just wasn't aware of this one particular one that kind of didn't catch my eye. It's semi-hidden because you need to be opening up several pop-ups, and then it is in one of those indicating that on the rest mode you need to enable the full functionality for charger to be up and running for your controller, as well as the downloads, you know, all the functions, which indeed will be then using some energy. And the factory settings are prohibiting this. So in fact, you're not, although you're leaving it in rest mode, you're not getting your overnight uploads and downloads and updates, and you're also not getting your controller to be fully charged. So, you know, a bit of a hiccup really. But anyway, that was resolved. We had to restart everything from the beginning, and what happened was I had the very beginning of new lights, you know, the preparatory section for anyone that comes in, and I have to say, it did take me the whole day, like the whole stream, just to get through it. So really, I was very, very pleased and very excited about everything that I've seen, and it did seem to me that compared to the inclusion of Cosmodrome initially when it came out, it was during, was that during Beyond Light, or was it the Witch Queen? It was Beyond Light, I think. Was it Shadowkeep? I can't remember exactly. I think it was Beyond Light. And then you had just like a one mission, which is the mission from the very beginning of Destiny 1 that was imported. That was it. But now when you play it, don't know where you've done it, and I'm quite certain most of our veterans would have not done it, as you had completed the ascension of your Guardians, and therefore there was no need to be doing it from the beginning. And as you know, in Destiny 2, not every bit of content is replayable. So what I had to do, to do this was to delete my Warlock. And really, in Destiny 2, I'm not playing Warlock much. I'm always down on my Hunter, and then sometimes I play Titan. But Warlock is just, because the jump not really anymore my favorites. So I deleted my Warlock, and then everything started from scratch, and it was you know, it was really great, as if I never played Destiny before. So the whole section of New Lights is a wonderful, excellent, the best possible tutorial for anyone who's joining the game for the first time, or for anybody who is indeed wanting to reacquaint with the game right from the beginning, or somebody like myself who wants to see what the restructuring brought to this Bungie's title. And it works perfectly. And what really amazed me was that all those aspects of the narrative, together with diverse activity and the tutorial, were blending in together perfectly. So for instance, you were learning on how to use certain abilities, as well as how to blend in with a variety of different tasks, like for instance doing campaign missions, combining with the Crucible, then with Gambit, then with strikes, and you know, it's just like a really natural progression, and you're learning about everything nicely, easily, slowly, in a way which is easily understood by everyone. And most importantly, they introduced lots of cutscenes. So the narrative, the story, right at the beginning, for instance, is excellent, because you, in Destiny 1, you didn't know actually what was going on in there. You suddenly popped up on Mars, and you know, you woke up, and then suddenly you realize, there was something with the Traveler, something about this war, some enemies, and you didn't really know the sequence of the events. So lengthy cinematic sequences explaining everything to you in depth, and you know exactly what's going on after watching it, and that's tremendous. It will be probably one of the best storytelling games in due course, and it's amazing, honestly, a bit like with The Taken King. Introducing a new DLC that is giving you a new content and is kind of restructuring the game is always a huge risk, but as we've seen in Destiny 1, it really worked, and it created the masterpiece that the first game really is even today, and a kind of a genre-breaking, generation-defining type of game. And you know, it's just really amazing what they had accomplished then, and they're doing exactly the same thing today with the sequel. I guess the final shape may well have the elements of The Taken King structurally, so you're kind of reworking the system of the game completely, and you're bringing it to a different level. As we've seen with the Prismatic, there's going to be a lot of fragments and mods and all sorts to be thrown in, and they will be coming from the Power of the Darkness and the Power of the Light, which is going to be for the first time in Destiny, and you are going to be able to use that in all areas of operation, right? In your PvP and your PvE, in, you know, various other activities, and it will be very interesting to see whether that will work and how that is going to be connecting with the community, and also how that will pan out, particularly in the PvP, you know, whether it will work and whether people will be happy or enraged or whatever. So, you know, we need to wait and see. But coming back to this, the gameplay was very enjoyable. Also, I was very, very happy to see. I want to really thank many of our community members who were coming in to say hello. We've seen Deployment after quite a long while. There was Playmore, there was Gale, there was Pixel, Sekapupu, various other people. So thank you guys for coming in and saying hello. On another note, our very dedicated and very valued member, Gale, who is in the US, lives in Ohio, works in law enforcement, and unfortunately on the same day, which was on Monday morning, had been involved in an incident with firearms, and she got shot. So she had a serious leg injury, with her knee being hurt, as well as the lower leg muscle. Ended up in hospital, required surgery, and the news broke as I was doing the stream, and it's for the first time since I have been a streamer that this sort of very serious, very distressing incident would have been described live on air, and I tried to provide as much support as possible to Gail. I was absolutely devastated because, you know, for somebody who's worked in emergency services, I had faced the similar sort of situation with colleagues and with friends, and sometimes the incidents which ended up in fatalities, unfortunately. And you know, an event of that sort, even if it happens the other part of the world, this is like a virtual type of activity, and we connect via internet, really hits that raw nerve. And I was incredibly distressed. I almost found it impossible to carry on with my broadcast, because I was, first of all, feeling distressed about the incident. I was feeling incredibly happy and delighted that Gail survived this incident, because it actually kept happening in her description from very close range. Somebody had engaged her with a couple couple of feet away, and it's amazing that she managed to survive, because obviously without tip-top reflexes, it's incredibly dangerous if you are in that type of incident where firearms are used. And just absolutely happy to see that she indeed managed to get out of that situation alive. And also I was very happy to hear that the person, the culprit, the criminal, did pay the price without actually expanding on the details. So, what that brought to me was the experiences of other people who are lost in similar circumstances, and then just the memories all come back in, at the same time. And you realize how fragile our life is. Like we have, well, on Earth, we have one life. If you're an atheist, you believe that's just like one life in any case. And it's so precious. We're so vulnerable, and we can lose our lives so easily in various circumstances. And obviously some jobs, like working in law enforcement or being in armed services or being in emergency services, I suppose, if you're a fireman or a doctor on the front line working in war zones, does carry a lot more risk. Nevertheless, we all are in the same boat. And as we know, people can go to wars and come back in one piece and safe and well, and some people walk the streets and certain incidents or accidents happen and their lives are taken away from them. So what I'm trying to say is that I was deeply affected and very distressed about the whole thing. On the other hand, I felt very happy and elated to hear that indeed our very valued community member, who's been very frequently here with us for many months, participated live on air sessions with other friends, and is safe and well. And I think that the surgery is going to be successful and everything will be fine in due course. But just, to go through that shock and that stress and that horrific experience, and for a young person who dedicates his or her life to the service and then spends so much time on fitness and preparation, and you have one incident of sort and everything is taken away from you, it's terrible. But unfortunately, it's the sad fact of life, and it is very much linked to that sort of occupation. We were talking to some of my friends from the armed services, and they would say, we spent several years here training how to be the best, and then just like one IED and you're gone. Not you, but all the other guys. And we have many people in our community here who play Destiny who have been in war zones, who have been formerly on an active duty, serving as soldiers for various countries. So we talked openly, more so I think in the forums where when we played Warzone, which is like more milsim type of environment compared to Destiny. But I do know from public disclosures here, not just in private, that there are quite a number of people who have been in very hairy situations due to the work in the armed services or law enforcement here in our community, who were telling us about these kinds of experiences, why, for instance, they feel video gaming is so essential in order for the mind to be relieved of certain stresses and to be entertained, to be rested, and just like literally raised the point and brought in the perspective in which you realize that video gaming is very therapeutic, particularly for people who work in very stressful occupations. And generally, if you are in uniform, you are not going to be thinking about these kinds of threats at all times. Otherwise, you will not be there in the first place. Similar to a surgeon, operating and doing the work on a patient, he can't be thinking that something will go wrong at all times. He needs to be focused on the job, deliver the services to the best of his abilities, and then carry on, go to another patient. And it is all about that mindset. So, as I said, it was for the first time that we've had this sort of incident disclosed live on air here on my channel, and I tried to offer as much support as possible, and also some support came from other community members. I've informed those members who are who know Gail, and people who had been in gaming sessions with us, in order to provide additional resources and help if they can. And nothing more important than if you are in that sort of wounded state and mentally shaken, but to have your friends and colleagues and game partners to come in and support and help and talk, because you will not feel alone. You will feel very upbeat and positive, and you'll remember the good memories and the good moments you've had with them, and the entire experiences will be definitely dampened in terms of its severity, and the progression, meaning the recovery, will be greatly aided by that degree of engagement from everyone. And it's very, very important that people keep this in mind. And if you are in our community and you have been playing the game with Gail, make sure that you support her as much as you can. She will truly appreciate it. And also, if you're just a bystander, a viewer, get involved, because we are here on this channel to provide help and support. And for those people who are vulnerable, or people who are suffering from disability, any form of health problem, mental health issue, or people who are finding themselves in a difficult situation due to family problems, due to finance, due to homelessness, due to incidents like that at work, or accidents, or people driving cars and suffering car crashes. And we are here to help. So it was incredibly important that I was able to engage with our community member who was in hospital awaiting further surgery and raise the spirits, with everything we did here. It's absolutely fundamental. And I talked many times about St. Jude's Hospital and Bungie Foundation, the fact that Bungie Foundation are providing services for those very ill children, so children could not feel alone. They'll get consoles and tablets and phones and add-ons and Steam decks in order to play games, connect with their friends, their families, and as they're in hospital for the first time in their life and expecting either diagnosis or surgery. So you can just well imagine how important the facilities really are. And by contributing to Bungie Foundation, you are going to be saving their lives. You will be enabling their recovery. You will be providing the services that will repair whatever is damaged and provide new direction. And first of all, make them a lot more settled and calmer within themselves when facing these incredible threats of serious illness, of course, that is. And we are going to be all fully involved. So anyway, coming back to the channel, this is what we do here. This was live on air support for one of our members who had been experiencing a huge difficulty, and that was the result of this terrible incident, firearms incident, and early in the morning. So, we are here to help. And I want everyone in our community to become fully aware that if any of our community members become seriously ill, is affected by illness, disability, any other problem, we are here to help. And we are going to be here always to help, live on air or offline. Doesn't really matter. We can hook up on Discord. We don't have to be streaming live on Twitch. We can communicate via messages or WhatsApp or any other, hub that provides us the means of communication. And we will be helping those who are in the need. And I think video gaming altogether is becoming more and more of a tool through which people can unite, make new friends, feel sociable, less alone, and also acquire therapeutic input. I think in the US, there have been quite a few developments, and I've been monitoring that very carefully over the last 4 to 5 years. I'm delighted to see that some of the approaches already are present in psychiatry and psychology, but I'm expecting also some other developments. And incidentally, yesterday, was the day before yesterday, I received some news from American Psychiatric Association, and I've not really read the article as yet in depth. I've seen the headline all about psychiatry online and how today, after the pandemic, this has been fueled. It's like massively being embraced by so many different people. That includes institutions and health services. Basically, they realize that this is a necessity. This is something that we have available at our fingertips, and we can be connecting with people in exactly the same way as if we were there in real life, obviously with some distance and with some difference, as we are not there face to face. But many aspects of that are very, very similar. And what's important is that degree of immediacy. I think that is critical in many situations where people need immediate assistance. And within a structured format, of course, not for somebody to be calling 3 or 4 in the morning where everyone's asleep, but, unless you're providing Samaritans or some emergency 24/7 phone line, but being able to contact somebody and, having in your mind the awareness that that person is there for you is priceless. Just from the point of view that even if you can't contact them straight away, they will be there for you in a few hours or half a day or 6 hours or whatever, and they are going to be helping. Very, very, very important fundamental. I mean, I, as a veteran of emergency services and somebody who worked with seriously ill psychiatric patients and people suffer from tremendous amounts of emotional distress, I can tell you, it saves lives. And I'm absolutely against the current mainstream in, well, I wouldn't say in psychiatry, but certainly amongst those who are running certain parts of our health service, to which they want to be just cutting down on investments and providing services that are completely inadequate and not at all in sync with the personal needs of these patients. So, somebody who worked in therapeutic communities, I know exactly what it's like. I know exactly why such facilities are absolutely necessary, irrespective of the cost. I mean, humanity will need prisons and hospitals forever, as long as we are around, unless we find some genetic biological method for which all illnesses will be cured. I think that's completely impossible. So, we are going to be needing to invest in order to preserve the health of our community and also to keep us safe. We want our communities to be safe, to feel safe. When you walk the streets, when you go around, you're not expecting some terrible incidents to be happening to you, for your life to be taken away for nothing, which unfortunately in Britain has been happening. Maybe not very frequently, but I have seen and heard of such incidents. In fact, I read about one of them today, which is incredibly, painful to digest, and we want things to get better. That's all I'm saying. And as I said, this channel is always here to help others and to provide as much support as possible, particularly if somebody is caught up in a set of circumstances like, for instance, what I just described. Right, so what else did I want to tell you? Well, my gameplay has not been massive. I told you that Warhammer games had been offered free of charge on a trial for about a week through Xbox. So if you're on Xbox, you can download 9 titles. You can try any of them as you wish at any time, and you get a very good picture. You get a very good picture of what the Warhammer games are actually like. And some of the titles are quite different. Some of them are very strategic. The other ones are very much like adventure action / type of game. And I wanted to download all of them. Unfortunately, some of the titles are very large, so there isn't enough space on my Series S hard drive, and I still want to try at least a few by the end of this week. But I want to say to everyone, just guys, make sure that you are getting some of that gameplay. It's so great to see that the publisher and the developer agreed to provide free access to the vast majority of the titles for everyone to be prepared for the next one. And the next one, the Space Marine 2, will be coming out in a few months, and everyone's excited about what they've seen so far. It looks really absolutely amazing. And, they're a bit of a niche, I have to say. I played Warhammer 3 or 4 games in the past on Xbox Game Pass, and it's for people who kind of like adventure action games, but also a bit of fighting, a bit of strategy. It's a mixture of different types of approaches. Don't forget, similar to, I guess in some ways, to board games. And they have Warhammer board games as well, as you're familiar with the title, probably you know. And anyway, it's just something that everybody needs to try. So, and we also are anticipating lots of showcase events. I told you already, the big one on Destiny is on the 4th of June. Then on the 9th we have Xbox and Microsoft presentations. Then we'll have Summer Game Festival. Then during the Microsoft presentation, there's going to be quite a selection of other developers also introducing their forthcoming titles. So, there's going to be a very, very busy beginning of summer week with titles, with games, with presentations, showcase events. And as you've seen, we've had some so-called whistleblowers, or the leaks indicating that it's no more showcase redacted, but it's actually called Black Ops 6, which is the next Call of Duty game coming out on Microsoft and Game Pass. And they will have a separate presentation identical to what we did have last year with Starfield after the Xbox team wrapped up the introductions. So, a lot to look forward to. And also we have State of Play. That is going to be the presentation, not the presentation, hang on a minute, it is on 2 levels. It's State of Play. That will be a showcase event this week coming from PlayStation team, giving it about 30-45 minutes of introduction to the forthcoming titles. And then What's the other one called? I'm still losing my mind. I can't remember. Hang on a minute. It is called... It's not State of Play. It's called Days of Play. That's right. Days of Play. And that is going to be starting up this week for... I think it appears almost a month. Let me just see. Bear with me. See the dates. Kicks off on May the 29th. And that will be... No, it's about 14 days. That's until June the 12th, right? So, anyway, I'll tell you a bit more about it in a minute. And let me just think. Other news. Yeah, we've had some other titles added to Game Pass very recently. So I want to tell you about these. I talked at length about Senua, The Immortals of Avium, and also Chants of Senua and Brothers. And there's been a bit of a lull, for a few days as Senua and Hellblade was launched. A huge success. And just coming back to Senua before I tell you about these new titles, there is going to be a video gameplay of the lead actress and the Norwegian musician stroke singer Aurora doing the game, playing it for an hour through Ninja Theory and Xbox on Twitch. So make sure you log in and have a look, and there will be some interesting discussions coming from Melina and Aurora, and I'm definitely going to be watching it, really curious about it, and hopefully everybody else will join in. If not, it's always going to be there on playback, and be interesting to see how the lead actress plays herself in the game together with the musician who provided some music for the title. The song during the final credits is hers. And it's a beautiful song, so I really absolutely recommend everyone to listen to the song and to download it and to enjoy it. You'll enjoy it in the game, of course, but download it really in order to keep and support Aurora. She's a wonderful young musician who produces terrific music and really very emotional type of ballads that, in this instance, perfectly blend in with the story and with everything that Ninja Theory wants to give us. So it's a perfect blend, and it comes right at the end when the game finishes. You got the final credits, and then the music kicks in. It's so atmospheric. It's just so perfect for that environment and for the message which you will be getting as you complete the game. I'm not telling you anything, no spoilers, but it is fantastic. Anyone who told you that Senua's Saga is identical and pretty much the same like the first game does not know what he's talking about. These are the people who have not played both games. They just literally flick through some walkthroughs or some YouTube videos and wrote the reviews that are completely irrelevant. The games are so different, and they have got such a different point given to you. And also, in the first game, I thought the ending was a bit abrupt, and you remember me telling you here a few times that I felt it was slightly, not inconclusive, but just brought to halt without any explanation on what was to follow or what actually concluded the battle, whether the battle she fought with her own mind in the game was successful or not. And also I expected many times, I said, for her to wake up, to realize this is all like a terrible nightmare and part of a psychosis. But that didn't happen. But in this game, in the sequel, there's quite a different ending. And I'm not telling you what it is, but it's absolutely terrific. Opens up many possibilities, but it just really... I said it's almost as if Christopher Nolan was making it, It's that sort of style. It's massive, big, epic. It has that cinematic quality. It's very immersive. And it's so deep. There is a message behind it all. And the message is for you to look into yourself. So anyway, make sure you come to the end. And when you finish the game will unlock different type of replayability. And I have to say, I've not read a single review during the initial batch that indicated this. So what does that tell you? And it's so significant because when you are unlocking a different type of gameplay, you are going to be getting the narrator being all the other characters that Senua had met in the game. So you will not be hearing the voice of hers like an internal monologue, but you will hear others telling you the tale, and therefore the tale will look and feel and sound very, very different. I'm curious to see how many of them you can choose from. I've not actually tried it, but it's just definitely something I would recommend. And You also unlock some, let me think what it is. No, you have a mini documentary on Psychosis, and then you have also the prologue that you play as you enter the game, which is like unlockables. You know, once you complete the game, you get them there. I think that some, if I'm not mistaken, you can also access them already as you enter the game. But anyway, double check and have a look. I did not look at the beginning, but I've seen at the end that this was that was accessible, and they're definitely excellent additions to the overall activity in the game. So yeah, that's definitely very, very good for anyone who wants to experience the immersive quality of Senua yet again. And as I said, the replayability is absolutely ensured, as I feel that anyone who just walked through the game even slowly, I think I played it more than 14 hours altogether, there's so many things to see, and when you know what is to follow, you'll just pay attention to something else that perhaps you've not noticed. Like, for instance, for myself, the hidden faces were the ones that I couldn't find, and some other collectibles that I need to pick up. But doesn't matter, on the replay I'll do exactly the same, and I'll try to find them, try to complete. I think I have 3 or 4 achievements left from the rest, but the achievements that you're getting in Senua on Xbox are massive. They give you 100 or 150 gamer points. So think about it, one of them is worth like 10 of those, or even 15 that you would be getting in some smaller games, or even in some major titles. Like lots of achievements in Mass Effect, for instance, were like 10 gamer points, but in there you're getting 100 and 150. So it's really absolutely awesome, and your gamer points will skyrocket if you're like at the beginning of your gaming career. So make sure you play it for that reason as well. All right, so what are the new titles? I was just about to tell you. The first new title that they introduced is NBA 2K24 for Xbox One. I'm not a person who likes playing sports games, but this is definitely one of those very popular basketball titles, and I know that our friends talked about it quite a lot. I have to force myself to try some of those, and I guess my experience of that will be probably similar to what I did have with driving, walking, selling and farming simulators. I thought, this is really not something I'm interested in, but I've gone in and had a look. My god, what a fantastic game. I mean, I know nothing about agriculture and farming. Like, I'm a city person, grew up literally on concrete and asphalt, tarmac, that's a proper city type of environment, and I have no idea what it takes to be growing crops or to be growing vegetables. And you start that game, Farming Simulator, and I just can't believe how appealing it is. You come in, you start playing it, and you just want to try this, you want to try that. Oh, this tool, what's that for? I'm going to put this together. Let's drive this vehicle. It's extraordinary, and most important, it's educational, because if you are interested in that sort of thing, you will learn everything about what you need to be doing. So, another scope. I talked about therapeutic value of gaming, but this is another scope. It's completely educational. You want to learn how to do certain things, like, for instance, farming in a big way. You want to start up as a small entrepreneur and then grow it into a big farm. Well, you learn by actually playing the game, and they've had the whole big team of experts advising in the same way as, for instance, Senua was created by the Ninja Theory team, together with several people from Cambridge University who worked at the neuroscience department. So the communication and liaison and collaboration had produced a sort of high quality educational content in what is this, but I guess in a very different way. Right, so that game is up and running. So that's NBA, like I told you, 2K24. That's for Xbox One. Then we have a game that I'm very, very curious about. It's called Haunty, and this is a very interesting game, an indie title with lots of funny activities. It looks like sort of platformer, but really weird graphics, and you're playing Haunty, and she's a ghost, and this ghost is relentless and is always looking for answers about literally anything in life. And this is a kind of a race of glowing creatures who are called Eterians. Eterians, I should say. They're lost souls to an ominous central tower, but they appear to ascend to high planes. So, you know, you're unleashing ghostly powers to claim some of the inhabitants, to gain more knowledge, and do lots of different things. So very interesting story, very interesting concept, and I guess reminded me a bit of Chicory, because in Chicory you were painting the whole screen and then it changed the color. And in this one, you have something similar. You're not painting anything, but you're changing color all the time. Then you have Galacticare, and Galacticare is also out. So you basically are. It's a bit of a kind of a sim game. You become like a director of Galacticare. You're going to be managing your own interstellar healthcare company, and then by doing so, you'll try to save the galaxy, i.e., preserve human life and the lives of these other species that live in there. It's a little lengthy, colourful journey. It's a bit bizarre, and you are orbiting 23rd century Earth, so it's a completely different type of Earth than what we know today. And the team that was behind War for the Overlord, and these are the guys called Bright Draw Games. They worked on a game, so you know I've not tried it yet. I'm just telling you that these are the new titles, but I will be trying those games on Game Pass, and then I'll tell you a bit more in depth. And then the third title is Moving Out, coming from Team 17, and this is a really a wacky sequel to the world famous physics-based moving simulator. And they had another one, I think, released before, well, simply called titled Moving Out 1, and you are basically wearing a uniform of removal service, and you start removing stuff, and it's similar to, I guess the elements of that are similar to that smart delivery service that we also talked about a little while back. You know, the games that are as entertaining as they are educational. So you put on your Smooth Moves uniform and then help residents of Packmore and beyond to pack up and ship out. So you can be doing it as a single player, and then you have also the capacity to engage with others, so do it as a crew. And you have some new characters, some old ones, really good fun altogether. So these three games are up and they're running on Game Pass. Like I said, this is Moving Out 2. We have Galacticare, Haunty, NBA 4K24. So make sure you try these, and also make sure you try the games that I mentioned earlier, Warhammer games. Very important. You engage with anything that's offered free of charge. More people engage with it, the better. We'll continue with these services, obviously, being offered to us. Otherwise, if the publishers realize people are not interested, they just simply discontinue overnight, and therefore we lose the capacity to try out these kinds of titles for free. And you know, if you come in at 9 titles 1 week to try, you're not going to be able to play all of them till the end, and you'll just have a look, play a couple of hours each, and then if you like these games, you can purchase them, or you can wait until they come yet again back to Game Pass or any other streaming platform. But getting this introduction, I feel, is so important. I must admit, I bought many more games ever since the streaming platforms came into existence, and there have been games that I tried, small indie games, previously would have not noticed, play them on Game Pass, and then purchase them later when they were being taken down, offered on 70% off. You know, it's a no-brainer. Like £2 here, £3 there, makes it really all nice and feasible, and they all come into your collection, stay there forever. You can play them at any other time, and it's helped me. And I agree with Phil Spencer. People disagree with him quite a bit on that question, but I found myself to be one of those guys who was able to enjoy games better in order, I mean, first of all, to try them firsthand, to find out what the games are actually like by playing them. Some people may say doing a demo is good enough, or having a trial period. It's not the same thing, you know. It really isn't. You got pros and cons with stream platforms. You can have, for instance, so many titles, 400, 500, 600 titles, and then you say, okay, I played this on a weekend, maybe I play it next week. You play it a bit, but you don't actually complete, and then the game disappears. It's been taken down, and obviously you buy it because you want to carry on. You know, it's just it's a good commercial model, and being able to try. But like, for instance, myself, everything that comes to Game Pass, I always try on cloud. I'll have a look. If I like it, I'll play it. if it doesn't grab me, I'll leave it for some other rainy day, you know? And as I said, it has been the case that there have been games offered on really good prices after being taken down. Mass Effect Legendary is fully accessible, but if you are on the Game Pass, you were given sometimes very good offers where the game that otherwise could be played for more than 1,000 hours is given for like £6-7, and I think this is a no-brainer. I got Diablo Resurrected and Diablo 3 Game of the Year edition, both of them for £12.20. I just think about it, usually that would cost like 70, 80, 90, £100 each, and you get them for £12.20. It's a no-brainer. And I really don't like when people start penny pinching and complaining about these methods. It's just not on. And I also feel that very many people who are, well, not people, very many of these comments that keep floating in the street, they don't really come from individuals. They really come from various lobbying groups that are supporting competitors, and they're trying to manipulate or coerce masses into certain types of opinions, which obviously nobody's going to buy. It's funny, I think a lot of people assume that by the use of technology you can sway opinions, but I don't find that to be the case. I find that people in most countries today are more single-minded compared to what they were in the past. They're less likely to listen. They're more likely to be researching or trying to find out for themselves, and then I guess base their own opinion. Every day, if you look at hashtags, what's trending on Twitter, you'll see that the views that are being left, providing comments on certain situations, current affairs, are single-minded. People argue the toss. You don't have everyone agreeing with one viewpoint, and that's applicable to any situation. Evidently, sometimes I have more negativity, sometimes people rant and rage, but it's the diversity of these opinions which matters, you know? Therefore, it's very difficult to put these people together to be like a one big mass, like a massive big force that everybody is agreeable or disagreeable. No, it's not quite like that. People have got their own opinions. What I'm trying to say is, although certain entities enjoy the idea, or they are elated by their own fantasy, that by that degree of coercion through PR elements or their lobbying groups, they can just swing very many people into thinking about something in a particular direction, it's not going to work. Some people may buy into it, but it's just a minority. The vast majority will be still thinking for themselves, and they will, due to the access to information, they'll base their own opinions on whatever has been given and read, and you know they'll come up with their own viewpoint, their own solution, what they think, and that indeed will be more important and more critical for them. Alright, so these are the games offered during the weekend, still up and running. Remember that? I told you all about the titles that were given to us for free, and we are going to be now look a bit closer at Days of Play Celebration. And as I said, that is to kick off on the 29th, which is on Wednesday, and we are going to be having a multitude of activities, as always, during that period, given to us by Sony in order to play games, provide some community content, hook up with other friends, and get some new Fire Team members, as well as to get discounts and trophies and add-ons, some accessories, some gadgets, some tech. So I'll tell you a bit about this in depth, as this is more or less imminent. It will be commencing as from Wednesday. So they say that I'm taking this directly from PlayStation, so it's the information hot off the press and from the horse's mouth, as they would say in England. So they are celebrate with play activities, bonus game catalog, PSVR 2, PS2 titles to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium, compelling offers and more. In fact, I just remembered I have this Swedish virtual reality headset, and I bought it, must be more than a year ago. I never tried it, and the other day I was experimenting with it, and then I thought I could also use it in order to watch films and games on my own smartphone, you know, the games which are not virtual reality or 3D. Alas, I was wrong. It's not possible. It's just for the VR. And then I tried about half dozen jingles and demos. These ones were very, very different Some worked perfectly, others were absolutely appalling. And then in order to get the picture right, it was just like a real nightmare. It's not Oculus, it's one of the other headsets, but it's basically from a very reputable company. And if you are to be using it, you must make sure that you are using the right equipment, otherwise it will not work. So, I don't know. We need to see whether the whole concept of VR is going to take off at this stage. We've seen previously 3D being introduced several times and then having some interest and then later flopping and having no further interest. And it all depends really on what people want. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at what we've got here. It's another exciting year for PlayStation fans with Days of Play 24 kicking off this week. And this year's Days of Play activities are bigger than ever, with many challenges, offers on hardware and games, content offerings, and a lot more. So they said, we started this global tradition 7 years ago to celebrate you, our passionate PlayStation community, for endless support. We are pleased to bring you more reasons to play, with special Days of Play activities appearing across PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Stars, PlayStation Store, PlayStation Gear, and retailers. Just going back to this, this also includes certain titles being added to PlayStation Plus in order for everyone to play. So the Days of Play celebration begins on May the 29th at 12:01 AM through June 12th, 11:59 PM local time in each region. So it doesn't matter where you are, it is at midnight of that day that it just kicks off, and you can obviously start doing it. So to mark this special occasion, they're giving new avatars to everyone. Throughout Days of Play, starting May the 29th, you can access avatars that commemorate some of the most popular titles that will be offered through PlayStation Plus during Days of Play. You can find them on PlayStation Plus webpage, or visit the PlayStation Plus Days of Play page on your PS5 or PS4 console to get the voucher code. Very important you claim these, because like a one-off, and every single year I claim mine. And not important whether you use them or not, just keep them in your library and claim them, because this is what the publisher wants you to see. They want to see that you are interested in these types of emblems and avatars, and that indicates you're connecting with the titles. I have a whole selection of avatars that are representing PS exclusives and look great, specially designed and mini animated. It's really, really absolute terrific. So, just claim everything. And these PlayStation Plus avatars are free for everyone. So that means whether you are subscribed or not, it doesn't matter. You can just claim it all. So they're free for everyone to redeem. So stay tuned for more free avatars during Days of Play. The best way to do it is just to double check PlayStation Twitter and read the blog. You get the regular information in there. Twitter is probably the best. And they're giving us also an overview of all those activities. So you have PlayStation Plus content offerings, right? So they want to share with us some fantastic news about the PlayStation Plus offerings available during the Days of Play celebration. And that includes bonus game catalog titles, PSVR 2 titles, new PS2 titles. Very exciting about that. And more. So let's have a look what they're offering. Some monthly games for June. So there are 3 different games that are coming in, and I guess that's the usual. It's not really, it's kind of aligned to Days of Play, but we will get them in any case. And I have to say, I'm not particularly excited about these. I think they are much worse in terms of the overall rankings compared to what we were getting of late, because recently we managed to get The Witch Queen and Lightfall coming directly from Bungie free of charge. So if you never bought these expansions, you could just, Witch Queen is the best expansion Destiny ever had. Free of charge, the full content. So I think SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake, and Streets of Rage are not going to cut it for me. But anyway, these are the ones offered. And AEW Flight Forever is there as well. I must say that all these games look really absolutely fantastic on PlayStation 5. It's such a good console. And also they want to be giving us a reminder that EA Sports FC 2024, which was part of May's monthly games lineup, is also going to be available until 18th of June. So unless you, let's say if you forgot to redeem it or you didn't have your app downloaded or something, you still have plenty of time. That's until June the 18th, so it's almost 3 weeks for you to redeem the title. Then on June the 3rd, you also will be able to download a Roblox pack. And I'm sure that our friend Sekapupu will absolutely be delighted, as he plays Roblox a lot of the times and is loving it. So you can be you will be getting an avatar for Felix Freezebeard the Yeti. That is what is going to be downloadable. Bonus titles for Game Catalog, Classic Catalog, PSVR 2 and the Game Trial. So this is the list of titles which are releasing during the Days of Play celebration ahead of our normal release schedule, which include additions to the PS Plus Game Catalog, Classics Catalog and everything else. So let's see what the titles are. PSVR 2 games, so that's Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders Before Your Eyes, and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapters 1 and 2. Well, I'm in two minds about playing The Walking Dead in virtual reality. Alright, need to try it to see what it's like. A friend of mine who recently departed from our CX shop, he was playing some of them and he was kind of very positive about the experience, but I've got to try it, to tell you. I just think games, a bit like films, they have this 2D dimension which is restricted by that geometrical shape of a square, and watching it on a screen is one experience which tells you, well, this is a fantasy, and once we switch the lights on, or like for instance in a cinema, once the lights come on, you kind of divorce from that fantasy, you are back to reality. This is just on the screen, it's not real. Virtual reality of Resident Evil, The Walking Dead, or The Evil Within is a different story, and I don't really know how it would be. I need to try to see, but I would imagine they would have a much greater impact on somebody's mind, and the experience would be different. The experience of what you want to be doing in there. Something for me to try. I shouldn't really provide you with any judgment before I've gone in. So these are the titles: Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders Before Your Eyes, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapters 1 and 2. That is coming to you on June the 6th, and that is for premium members. So if you're a member of PS Plus Premium, you can just plug in your headset, VR headset, and therefore you'll get the titles. You can just play them straight away. In fact, maybe I'll do that. I need to borrow that headset from someone. I don't have it. In fact, they were telling me at the CX the other day they do have a pair of brand new proprietary Sony's PS5 headsets, and I said I should really have a look and try to see what it works better than my Razer, and I'm happy with the Razer. Things have been working fine on my streams. I don't need to change it. I guess the only difference there is that the quality is got a bassoonish type of sound, so it's not really quite the same compared to Turtle Beach. Turtle Beach is, I think, providing me with great clarity, but the mic on that Turtle Beach of mine doesn't seem to be working properly. I don't know whether it's a fault or something. Or generally the mics are really top quality, but so I've got like two headsets. Razer I use for streams. It's got absolutely fantastic mic and sound I don't particularly like. And then I have Turtle Beach to to play when I'm not streaming. So one for the streams, the other one for everything else. Alright, so PS2 games that are coming to Classics Catalog on June the 11th. Tomb Raider Legend, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoons. No, Raccoons, whatever it is, whatever the pronunciation is. Well, I used to play the original Tomb Raider on PlayStation 1, and I remember playing this one, Tomb Raider Legend, on PlayStation 2 as well, which was 3 years later. So I'm very, very excited to see what this is going to be like. And G-Police, one of my early favorites, had come to PlayStation, and it was a PlayStation 1 game, which I played in the 90s, so definitely good to see that. We have game catalog additions, so PS4 and PS5 games. These are coming to the game catalog for extra and for premium members. So let's see: Dredge, PS4, PS5. Quite a good game, I played it. Available May the 29th. I'm trying to think whether the title is still on. It wasn't Game Pass, but I think it's gone. Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2, available May the 31st. Cricket 24. That is available June the 5th, and then the one which everyone will jump on is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the definitive edition. It's remastered, it's got all the content, so that is definitely what you want to play. In fact, the other day I listened to Ryan McCaffrey and Destin Legare, or Gag, it's pronounced really, apologise to Destin, sorry. Destin Legare, that's right, that's the way it's pronounced. I mean, it's the two different ways. You can pronounce it French way or the English way, so up to the person concerned. Right, so they talked about Grand Theft Auto, the hype that's been created for GTA 6, and many different types of thoughts and speculations about it. But they felt this was one of the most popular games that will be played forever, and I think anyone who owns any of the titles from the franchise will be delighted. And having San Andreas, the definitive edition, here offered on the subscription price, also the remastered version, is absolutely terrific, and I'll jump on it. I just June the 7th, just come on, hurry up, I want to try it straight away. And then game trial is WWE 2K24, so that's the wrestling game. New addition to that, just on premium membership. As you know, on premium, PlayStation is offering quite a lot of titles, but once you try them, then they're not deleted, but you can't access any more of the gameplay. And the majority of the game trials is like 2 hours long, so it's very short. I played Baldur's Gate, it just really didn't scratch the surface. I barely had completed the first mission of the game. Spent some time doing customization, which is really very, very refined, and exploring the character and the skills and abilities. And 2 hours just literally disappeared. Right, days of play activities. We want you to join in on all the activities. We plan to bring you unique rewards while playing. Here's a look at some of the activities planned for this year's celebration. You can find more details about activities you can take part in on the Days of Play 2024 webpage. So you have a community challenge. 3 new exciting challenges, so you can work together to reach community goals to unlock exclusive PlayStation Star rewards, and then you will get a unique reward by participating. And so earn rewards by participating in PlayStation Stars campaigns. You get digital collectibles. I collect them all the time, and it's just something that people like collecting. I know that our friend, I think, I apologize now, I can't remember the user ID of his. He likes, he's a completionist. He likes getting collectibles and doing the trophies, and he will literally grind the game up to the point where he's platinum. And we talked about it quite a few times. I wouldn't be able to do that. I mean, I'm a completionist. I like to collect everything, but there are so many titles out there. And in fact, I've seen in Tomb Raider, the Ultimate Edition, I'm just about to complete on Xbox. You have the means to which you can revisit certain chapters and then collect the documents or items for your inventory or anything else that you needed in order to complete the overall activity to 100%. And at the moment I'm 70%, so 30% still not there, but I'm just about to end the game. So, I like that. I think in the old games, or the older days, they wanted you to be restarting the game and then doing everything in order to find these other bits which should have gone into inventory. And it's just, it's a good idea if the game's replayable, but to expect that you do that straight away, maybe in the 90s where there weren't that many titles around, but today, with everything that's on offer, I mean, I always have like at least 20 titles on my to-do list, and AAA blockbusters will take you weeks to complete. I mean, I can't play the games every day, the whole day, so, it's, actually, I guess it's just one of those things. Anyway, let's get back to the news. We have digital collectibles. So you've got to be on the lookout for a new display case, and also to showcase your digital collectibles. So you will be able to do that. Put them in your app, people can see them. And then there will also be exclusive PlayStation Stars campaigns for PlayStation Plus members to look forward to that are focused on the titles available through PlayStation Plus during those days of play. And the titles are Dredge, EA Sports, FC24, and so on. So you will have, well, the way you do it is you get it on the app. You go to you know that icon which is like next to your avatar. You click on that and you get all the big list of everything that is there for you to complete during the period of 2 weeks, and then you can just race, you know, to get as much as possible. I had some PlayStation gamers who were very keen on collecting these items. For me, the question arises, how useful are these items? Where can you use them? What can you do with them? And I think they will have to work a bit more on how that can be either exchanged or sold or applied, you know. And I don't know, it just seems to me that lots of these kind of points which you're collecting, similar to supermarkets, you get some benefits, but it just doesn't seem to be anything major. And from time to time, they will need to have a campaign in which you're getting something really substantial for you to feel motivated to do this again and again. Anyway, like in an event of Apex or in a PUBG, you will grind in order to get certain goodies, and that's basically what the thinking behind it is. So esports tournament for PlayStation Plus members. So there will be a brand new event, that's for the first time, from PS Tournaments, and that's called the Days of Play Cup for EA Sports FC24. So some fans will have a chance to show off their skills on the pitch and then reap the rewards playing football. And the fun starts with qualifiers. So that's starting on June the 1st to June the 9th. Qualified participants will earn a PlayStation Stars EA Sports FC24 digital collectible and an in-game PlayStation FC24 kit just for joining. Well, if you are a lover of soccer games, well, that's definitely going to be your bread and butter. Winners will score a 1-month PlayStation Plus Premium voucher code, and also they'll get an invite to join playoffs. So from there, the top 16 player finishers will win FC points and share $1,500 in cash prizes. So that's not bad. I think that is a good incentive. And I think generally, if they were running such competitions for people who were at the beginning stage, you know, at the very beginning, they could then be granting them 1 month subscription to PS Plus or something like that. That would be definitely highly motivating, particularly for those people who are not subscribed. Competitors in select North American and European regions will automatically be eligible to win exciting prizes that will be including a DualSense Edge controller, Pulse Elite wireless headset, PlayStation Portal, etc. So, you know, for those who make the playoffs, you'll have a chance to win a trip or two to the 2025 UEFA Champions League final in Munich. Well, that's a good reward. It's almost as if they heard me, you know. Getting tickets for the final is definitely going to be very, very motivating. But don't forget, these guys will have to make the playoffs, right? So there's a chance to win a trip. So it's like a one person will be getting those 2 tickets, and there will be many, many participants. And if you plan to be in the UK on May the 13th through June the 2nd, join us at the UEFA Champions League Fan Festival across London. You will recall that the Champions League final is on Saturday, 1st of June, at Wembley in London. So there will be a lot of soccer-related activity citywide, and I guess in celebration of the event and football altogether. And so that's really looking good. And then what else do we have? Enjoy some incredible PlayStation experiences, including PlayStation Giant Pinball and Giant Claw Machines, for the chance to win a range of prizes. Then you have lots of promotions for various items, like for instance, you can purchase $50 off PS5 and PS5 Digital Edition, $100 off PlayStation VR set, $20 off select titles, Marvel Spider-Man 2, The Last of Us 2 Remastered, MLB The Show 24, MLB The Show 2024, the Negro Leaguers Edition. I really want to see that, you know, I really want to see that, because they've had a very interesting Xbox podcast dedicated to this, and I really think this is a fantastic game that's really highly educational for anyone who's interested in sports as well as politics, without telling you what it's about. But you know, definitely have a look at it. I've been waiting for it to come up on Game Pass. I think it's still not accessible. As soon as it comes to the Game Pass, I'll play day one. Rise of the Ronin is also a title that will give you $20 off. Then you can have other goodies such as 12 months of Netflix Premium at no extra cost, right? So if you purchase PS5 console or one of those headsets, you will get that as like a top-up, a bonus which you get free of charge. And then between May the 29th to June the 9th, new players who join PlayStation Plus can save up to 30% on the 12 monthly membership. And I can see that they also, yeah, I just told you about this. There are other things like £10 off all PlayStation 5 console covers. Then you have $80 off Marvel Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition. So, you know, the list just goes on. And I'm just giving you the very best offers that you can get there. And then you also have a PlayStation Gear Store. So various things could be purchased from the store. And that will be including various bits of merchandise from Helldivers 2, The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Forbidden West, God of War, PlayStation branded gear, and more. So various items in there. Just go to the store and have a look. And then you will have also, you know, things like controllers, which look a bit like, well, Spider-Man controllers, or Final Fantasy ones. And I think also t-shirts and various other things. As I said, PlayStation branded gear. So make sure that you have a look, have a good price, and make sure that you purchase some of that. So back to the very beginning. Days of Play celebration is kicking off on May the 29th. So that is on Wednesday and will be there for about 2 weeks. And then also have a bit of news. And just see. Right, so why is it that I cannot see it at the moment? You tell me, but I put it in there earlier today. It's very silly that Twitter, you know, ever since Elon Musk became the CEO, does have some serious problems with chronology of what you are bookmarking and posting. And I've seen that when I'm posting images to my Twitter, they don't come to Twitter immediately in a chronological order. Yeah, they're really sort of badly mixed up and garbled, so really not at all the way they should be. So at the moment, I want to tell you that Days of Play will also be having the State of Play, which is the broadcast, right? It's the broadcast that is usually either preceding or coming into the equation a day later after they kick off this sort of period of 2 weeks with offers. And State of Play gives you some news on whatever is to follow, new titles, whatever is coming away from PlayStation, you know, new AAA blockbusters, new exclusives and everything else. And that will be run on the 30th. So that's on Thursday, 30th of May at 11 o'clock PM, British Summer Time, 10 o'clock PM, European Time. So if you are a PlayStation gamer, like myself, then you make sure that you watch it live. If you're in Europe at 10 o'clock PM on Thursday, the 30th, or if you're in Britain at 11 o'clock PM BST. If you're already in bed, if you're doing something else, make sure you watch it on playback. And it will be accessible through PlayStation YouTube channel. Make sure you watch it. There's a lot of hype about certain titles to come out of PlayStation. I'm not going to reveal you today what titles we're anticipating. There's been quite a bit of rumor spreading around. But some very big titles from great developers and some new titles from franchises are suspected to be featuring. Don't forget, they openly said they need to upgrade. They need to really smarten up and follow some of those policies and structures that Xbox had been applying. They have a completely new leadership at Sony. So that all will be very interesting. We want to see what type of titles are to be expected within the next 6 to 12 months. And as I said, it will be given to us through their presentation, their broadcast, their showcase event, which I have got to say in the past had been very poorly done. I mean, I was astonished that a corporation of that size with that many titles could be doing it so badly. It to me looked like a few cheap trailers glued together without any commentary. It was absolutely terrible. And then in recent times, they enhanced somewhat, but it still wasn't as good as it should be. Nowhere near the presentations that we watched from Jeff Keighley and Xbox and other guys. So it's mind-boggling as to why that is. I could just imagine maybe they preferred people to be reading articles or purchasing games and then trying them themselves. But from my point of view, it has to be done on certain standards. And what people enjoy watching is the overall approach, where you get publishers and developers together with some of the executives, and they talk about how the game was made and what the project was about, and it's all about interactivity. And State of Play was completely devoid of any of this. It was catastrophic. Honestly, I remember watching a couple of times and thought, oh, this is nauseating. It had improved since, but still, it's not of the same standards. They really need to do a lot more on the community content and just generally bring it to certain standards. Because you've seen many independent developers doing their own showcase events that were very high quality. So even for the titles that you're not interested in, you're grabbed by how passionate the team is about the title and what they do in order to attract interest, and you really want to come in, have a look. And this was just like putting a few trailers together, and it just didn't seem to work for me. I really kind of look forward to it to see whether it is going to be a lot better, as they're competing with Xbox openly at the moment. They did say they want to follow up on some of the strategies, but we need to wait and see. And certainly I can see some changes applied to PlayStation on my new PS5 since the last year, since they changed the leadership. There are changes which are significant, and I have to say that PlayStation 5 is a console that's ideal for streaming. It does have a menu which is fantastic in terms of the ease of use, and its accessibility is second to none. So really a very, very major improvement compared to the way PlayStation 4 was in every way, and every update is bringing you something new. I really like the fact that you have the quick start immediately, so the games which I close suddenly, anytime I restart my PlayStation will kick off exactly the place where I left them, and that's incredible. It's not maybe for every game. I think it's similar to what you have on Xbox, but major enhancement. Anyway, these are the thoughts I had about State of Play and Sony Days of Play, which are to follow from the 29th of May until the 14th of June. So definitely join our community of Sony PlayStation gamers and make sure that you enjoy everything that's on offer. Because I swing from PlayStation to Xbox, I enjoy both streaming platforms and the titles offered, and I've never had a better time gaming in my life before. It's incredible. I do not understand as to why somebody would be not positive about these streaming platforms. I see just so many benefits. I don't see anything negative. Nothing. I can see maybe some problems for the games being sold initially, but in due course, if the games are being taken down, then you will have the sales and people will want to keep the same titles in their libraries forever. So you will not be beefing up the first weekend, but in the long run, it will give you a lot more interest, credibility and exposure, and you will tremendously benefit from it. Alright, my friends, I think that's probably all I have for you for today. It's the news for 2 days, and as you could see, there's been a lot of activity on my channel, and we had a lot of interesting developments, as I described, as well as some news coming from the industry in view of those showcase events and Sony's Days of Play. And when I come back tomorrow, I'll tell you more about Destiny. We're expecting a brand new trailer, which is the final trailer for the final shape. We're expecting the last update to the system and everything else that comes together with it. So there will be many more news coming your way, Destiny related. We're all very excited, of course. 4th of June is a very, very big day. And everything else really tied into our community and all of our activities, some of my gameplay. Tell you all about my completion of Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 and Tomb Raider Ultimate. So all of that is to follow. So watch this space for more. Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for supporting the channel, and most importantly, our fundraiser. Remember to donate so we can generate some funds for the Mind charity and help those people who actually require our support the most. People who are suffering from mental health problems, people who are vulnerable, suffering from any form of disability or health-related issue, anyone suffering psychological stress, emotional pressure. All of those people can use and do use the services provided by Mind, and we want to be donating as much as possible. So just keep it in mind anytime you listen to my podcasts and or watch my gameplay on various platforms. Just make sure you chip in with a couple of pounds here, a couple of pounds there. It's not going to break the bank, but it will be saving lives. Sorry, you remember that. All right, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. I wish you all a very, very good day and hope to see you all soon, and take care.